Now, as we continue analyzing the January 6th committee report from the executive summary, we will now discuss beginning on findings number 5. Number 5 findings of the committee is that without any evidentiary basis and contrary to state and federal laws, Trump unlawfully pressured state officials and legislators to change the result of the election in their states. So if anyone of you remember that Donald Trump made a phone call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger that he only need 11,800 votes to overturn the election to his favor, that the very long phone call was recorded by the Office of the Secretary of State of Georgia and eventually was publicly released. There were also participation from Arizona Republican Party and the Nevada Republican Party, as well as in the Michigan State Republican Party, to send an alternative electoral slate that will be submitted to Vice President Pence, and instead of the true and real electoral slate who will vote for Joe Biden, the fake electors will cast their votes for Donald Trump as president. Many of these officials are now included in the ongoing investigation by Special Counsel Jack Smith in a wider scope of crime committed against the United States leading to the January 6th attack of the U.S. Capitol. Even the Nevada chairman of the Republican Party, Michael McDonald, has been subpoenaed by the J6 committee. In his deposition, he invoked his rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, the right against self-incrimination. In essence, he didn't want to answer any question. Finding number 6, Donald Trump oversaw an effort to obtain and transmit false electoral certificates to Congress and the National Archives. Now, has something to do. This is something to do with the same effort mentioned in number 5, in the effort to submit false electoral certificate that signifies the winner in the Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada of the presidential election, and the corresponding electoral votes to be awarded. That was Donald Trump has actively participated in the steps to be taken. Finding number 7, Donald Trump pressured members of Congress to object to valid slates of electors. Findings number 7, Donald Trump pressured members of Congress to object to valid slates of electors from several states. On this one, the true and valid electors designated by the winning party, which is Joe Biden slate of electors that casted the votes for Joe Biden in the Electoral College ceremonial voting. What Trump was trying to do was to convince many of the legislators, MAGA legislators, who were sympathetic to him and to his cause to overturn the election, were the people who rejected, the lawmakers who rejected the certification of the election results. So, but then again, because of there were some Republicans who voted with the Democrats to certify the election of Joe Biden, Joe Biden was still properly installed as the new president. We are going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will continue with the findings that are found in the executive committee, executive summary report of the J6 committee. Finding number 8 that is found in the executive summary of the J6 committee. It states that Donald Trump purposely verified false information filed in federal court. Things like this happened when plaintiff signs off on a document that is under oath and acknowledged to be true, when in fact the information being filed is actually false. And judges later finds that the filings were not supported by facts, and a judge rules the case as the judge rules the case to be frivolous. Many of Donald Trump's lawyers has been sanctioned by various state bars and barred from practicing law in those states. Rudy Giuliani, as an example, has his law license in the District of Columbia uh, suspended, and others still faces disciplinary actions in several states, and judges slapping them with fines for filing false claims, allegations with zero evidence seen in court. Findings number 9. Based on the allegations that election was stolen, Donald Trump summoned tens of thousands of supporters to Washington for January 6th. Although these supporters were angry, some were armed, Donald Trump instructed them to march to the Capitol on January 6th. Now do you remember the speech at the Capitol ellipse? We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. That's what Donald said. That's what Donald Trump said in his speech while he riles up the crowd. And even weeks before that, for the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, where armed militants and extremists actually ended up in the Capitol grounds on January 6th. The message, according to those who were arrested and prosecuted, were received by them as a call to arms. So, you fight like hell. If you don't fight like hell, you will not have a country anymore.